Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Bohill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Sol, good morning. Babna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I am back. I am rested. I am feeling much better. Thank you very much to all of you who are a little bit worried about me. All of you who dropped me a little message going, hey, are you okay, hon? The answer is yes, I am. I am okay. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show. I am your host, Dani Wallace. I hope you are okay. So yeah, it has been a bit of a funny old week. It's been a bit, as well, you all know, it's been a bit of a funny couple of months, really. And I often bang the drum of self-care for all of you, particularly within the Move Be program that I run, obviously as part of the book that I've written, How to Overcome Self-Sabotage. And I felt called the day before yesterday to stop, to actually reach out for help from my team. I have careened from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, from the run up to be inspired, into intensives, into challenges, into launching, into doing all sorts of stuff. And I, on Tuesday, was feeling really, really tired. I had to go down to London, there and back in the day, to go do some filming for the glorious Jess Gardner in the assistance rooms. Now, it was brilliant. It was a great experience, but I can't tell you guys, I was on my knees tired, and thinking about all the things that I've got to do. Just got really, really overwhelmed. Like I was on the train on the way home, and I was hurting from my forehead to my toes. And the only word that my brain would serve me up, and it was pathetic, the only word that my brain would serve me up was help. Honestly, I got to that point. I thought, if I carry on, if I try and push through another full day of delivery, I am going to feel poorly. I'm going to get, not just feel poorly, I'm going to get poorly. I need to sleep. I need a big chunk of sleep. And even the night previous, because I had to be out at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was writing scripts for the filming, because that was the only time I could fit it in around everything else. We're still finishing up at the whole old house, and it was just a lot. And it wasn't because I was trying to glorify pushing through or hustling or anything like that. It was just that there were a lot of things there have been a lot of things, sort of one after the other after the other. Do you know, when, I don't know if your kids are feeling like, if you've got kids or look after kids right now, but do you ever get, when they're in the run up to half term, they start to get a lot more tired or a lot more ratty and all of these things? I feel like that. I feel like I'm a kid who's on the run up to half term, but there was no half term in sight for me. And I was just drained and tired. And I rung up my team day before yesterday, and I was just like, honestly, it was pathetic crying. It wasn't good crying. It wasn't even like snotty tears. It was just simpering. I'm tired. I just need to sleep. Have somebody just hold the tide for me for a second whilst I get some sleep. And of course, my team and my phenomenal clients did just that for me yesterday. They parted the tide for me and just let me take just a second, because the weekends, even though my weekends are generally protected from work, they really haven't been in this sort of transition with the house. So there's just been no respite. It just doesn't feel like, or it hasn't felt like things have been letting up. And I was just, really, really, really sort of overwhelmed. And what was really interesting And I do share all of these things with you. You know, you get the good and the bad and the ugly with everything that goes on. Yes, we do phenomenal launches. Yes, I have got phenomenal programs. But there is this bit in the side that we're just still trying to get right, that we're trying to get the energy right all the time. We're trying to get the diary right. We're trying to get the delivery strategy just spot on so that I don't have to work like that all the time. And I think that this is a regular thing to be checking in with myself, is this, that we're growing and we are a big business now. However we look at it, IATQB is definitely a we, it's not an I anymore, and it's a big business. And if I'm driving right at the very front of it all the time, something is going to give, because there's a lot, and your girl goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So yeah, I felt the wall approaching on Tuesday. I felt the wall approaching. I was like, if I don't ask for some help right now, then there is a potential that I'm going to crash and burn. I don't want that for anybody. So I went into the Hive and I was like, oh, I've just done a pathetic cry, because it's my safe space. It's where I go and talk to you guys, isn't it? Oh, I've just done a pathetic cry. Someone tell me that the world won't fall apart if I stop for a moment. And of course, you were all like, yes, you knobhead. Of course, it's okay for you to just stop. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. So I had a huge lie-in once I got the kids sorted out. Slept all through the morning, woke up at 12 o'clock, went over to the old house. We've got a skip at the old house, because you all know I love a skip. Threw stuff away, so I'm not as overwhelmed with what's left at the old house now. We're almost ready to hand the keys back over. And I think that's been a bit of an albatross around my neck for a little while now, because we're in this house, and we're definitely in this house, but I don't feel free of the other place yet. So that'll be better. We'll hand the keys over this weekend, and that'll be all gone, and that'll be good. So yeah, it was just a lot. It was a lot. And yesterday I was able to just stop for a second. And that's exactly what I needed to do. So thank you, everybody, to those of you that have checked in with me, that have called me out on my bullshit, saying, yes, of course the world won't fall apart, Daniela, you idiot, you self-important little woman, you. The world will not fall apart. In fact, actually, if I didn't stop, then, you know, things would get pretty hairy, I think. So thank you. I feel rested, and also with a little bit of clarity as well, because the things on Tuesday, here's the funny thing, is this is stopping to go, isn't it? The things on Tuesday that were overwhelming me, I'm not even bothered about now, because I've had enough sleep to be able to process things properly. I've got enough brain space to actually put things in the right order. I've managed to put down some of the plates that I'm spinning, and huge shout out to Team IATQB, to Anna Fox, Danielle Hansen, of course Wallace, and also the fabulous Michelle Marriott. Michelle Marriott in the background, one of our QBs, has been doing event finding, venue sourcing for the Summer Swarm, which has just been phenomenal. So I've had a great, Jojo Smith has been doing loads of creativity work in the background, just about to take on a social media manager. So the team have been absolutely phenomenal. It was a real testament this week. One of the things that I saw, when I was on the B-Treat, because when I was on the B-Treat, I was in the B-Treat with everybody, and I wasn't sort of doing the busy work. I was in solid delivery, and everything was just happening around me. So I could see the team were communicating really effectively. They were getting the job done, and what an incredible position to be in. And one of the things that I was frightened of right at the very beginning was outsourcing. Like, how can I afford to outsource? Where the question now is, how can I afford not to? So Team IATQB have been a power squad this week. So huge shout out to all of you that are on the squad. You have been amazing. So, update on the Summer Swarm before I bring our glorious guest in this morning. I am so excited to share this human with you today. I am so excited. We're being joined from Oz this morning. I love it when we get our Australian guests on. So here we go. Update on the Summer Swarm. Couple of changes may happen. So we've got Glasgow. Glasgow is selling good guns. There are a few spots left, but Glasgow is going to sell out in the next week or so, I think. Manchester has started to shift now. London is going to sell out probably by early next week. Norwich hasn't sold any yet, so Norwich, come through if you're wanting to have a space on the Summer Swarm in Norwich. If not, I'll take that off and I'll have a day off. Thank you very much. Glastonbury is going to sell out, and Birmingham, we haven't sold any yet. So if these two don't shift, I will take them off sale and then just focus on these 5. So that's just a little update from me. However, I've got a little deal sweetener for you. If anybody does a referral for a Summer Swarm and that person buys on, then you will get 50 quid. So if you do want to be part of the referral scheme for the Summer Swarm, please do let me know. You will need a ticket to be in it. If anybody wants to do any sort of outreach or any sales, come and give me a little holler and we can have a conversation about it, because I'm open to having a little bit of we all do well when we all do well situation going on. So let me know what you think in the comments or get in my DMs and let's see what we can do. All right, my darlings. So that is an update on the Summer Swarm. Really excited about that. I have to come to Norwich. I know Diane Ivory, so we're going to need to sell 10 spaces in Norwich for Norwich to go ahead. Sign me up for the referral scheme. Absolutely, Amy Blaney. Get in my inbox. Let's sort that out. All right, my darlings. So that is an update on me. That's where I'm at right now. I am rested. I am replenished. I am feeling good. I am washed. I even had a shower last night. I smell great. And now I am back to interviewing some of the best people around the world, sharing their stories of showing up, wising up and rising up, and also their incredible and fabulous businesses. And today's guest is absolutely no change in terms of how incredible the humans are that we bring onto the show. So please welcome, all the way from Oz, it's Traci Chambers. Good morning or good evening.
Hi, Dani.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
I'm good.
Are you good? You were nervous, weren't you? She messaged me before, you guys. She says, I've got butterflies. We've got a little bit of butterflies going on. So I just want you, if you're watching at home, just tell our Traci just how lush it is being in this community and being on this show. I'm sure, no doubt in my mind at all, that everybody will be thrilled to have you just as much as I am. So Traci, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am a jeweler, jewelry designer, and I make spiritual jewelry, which I channel from spirit, and I channel the designs, then I make the pieces.
Amazing. And on the show, Traci, we love a little bit of this. We are all on, as part of this community, on a little bit of an exploration into our spiritual side. It is something that I talk about on a regular. How did you come to doing this work? Because it's quite specific, isn't it? You've got, if you think like mainstream jewelers, they'll get they may be like particularly artistically creative and they'll make pieces and just sell pieces. What about this process? How did you come to doing this?
Well, I've been making jewelry for a long time. Like I studied jewelry design when I finished high school. So some lot of years ago. But
it doesn't look like that many years ago.
It is. But I never worked this way until just last year, actually.
Right.
So I did the Ultimate Up Level Academy with Natasha Bray, and that has really changed my life in so many ways. I can imagine. Yeah. And so the biggest thing, well, especially for my work, was opening up my intuition and my connect spirit. And I started to, just these amazing downloads of jewelry designs pieces to make.
Yeah. And one of these pieces, obviously you're wearing one of these pieces today. And I came across you, I think maybe 6 or 7 months ago, if not a little bit sooner, because Natasha, who's a close friend of mine, Natasha had received through the post one of your pieces, one of your crowns, and I'm a little bit excited, Traci Chambers, about the fact that you make these bespoke crowns that are, that you create through these downloads, through your connection to spirit. what really brought you started to get these downloads, but what was that experience like? Because for a lot of us, we are new to this spiritual space, and we talk about spirit and we talk about connection to self, and how did that start to manifest? Were these like, were you meditating? Were you just sat there having a brew one morning? Like how did this like come to you? What do these downloads feel like?
Well, I think I'd done maybe 6 weeks of Natasha's course already. And so I was starting to have more, I don't know, just be more gentle with myself and love myself a little bit more. And so I felt like I was just more open to things and more trusting in general about things. And then I had this spiritual awakening where I was a spirit of somebody passed trying to communicate with me. And normally I would have just gone like, oh, that's what's going on, what thought, why is this in my thoughts? This is strange. But this time I was like, oh, I'm gonna just investigate what's happening. And so I let that spirit in, and we had a conversation. He wanted and then sorry, that story could go on for a long time.
That's okay. We've got time. Like, I'm ready. I'm into it.
So then he wanted me to give a message to his family, because he had passed in an accident.
Right.
But I was like, I don't know. I felt really funny about that. So I wasn't sure. Then I had other spirits coming to people past as well. And
wow.
I didn't know what to do with it all, because some of them, the messages they wanted to give their family, I didn't know whether their family would want to know that stuff or not.
My gosh.
Yes. So then I got some advice from other psychics and people who, communicate with spirit, and they were saying, you just need to put up some boundaries, because when you become open at first to spirit, then like it's the chance for lots of lost maybe.
They're like, oh my God,
you. We can get through you. So then I sort of closed it off, and then I was a bit worried. I was like, oh, what if I can't do things like this again?
What if you can't navigate that anymore with those plays? This is fascinating, Tracy. So how do you put up those kinds of boundaries then in that space? Because that's definitely not in the physical world.
No, so it sort of comes in like a thought. I feel like your intuition and your connection with spirit is a lot like your imagination. And so it comes in thoughts, and then you just have to say it out loud or think it. Sorry, I'm not communicating with any more spirits from people past.
I guess like what you would do in real life. Say, for example, if someone's sort of emailing me at 3 o'clock in the morning or what have you, I wouldn't, as a boundary, I wouldn't answer that. And then in the morning when I was ready, say, oh, I'm really sorry, I don't answer emails at this particular point in time. I answer them in office hours.
And so then what started happening next was I was just getting visions of jewelry pieces for people, like for actual people. And I was like, oh, what do I do here? Well, we're just going to say, hey, I've just had a download for something for you.
I love this as a method of selling, by the way.
I know. I was like, they'll think that I just want to sell them something.
This is, it's absolutely fascinating to navigate, though, because, like you say, when you get these downloads, or when you get these, these visions, this necessity to connect. What do you do? That must have been really strange for you to get your head around at the beginning of the door to reach out. Much like the way with the messages from spirit, what do you knock on the door and say, hey, I have this thing.
It's really meant for you.
I just think it's amazing.
So then what I did after that is I had a few guinea pigs that I tested on, and I just sort of tuned into them to just through a photo, and I downloaded a design for them for a piece of jewelry which came actually from their higher self, was giving me the message of this piece of jewelry that would be really good for them to have in their lives, like how it could support them, and a gemstone also that's part of the piece that can, because gemstones have so many beautiful energetic qualities that can.
Yeah, we love some crystals. We love ourselves crystals and gemstones. We've got the latest one to my collection is this lapis lazuli that I never really thought of before. But it's interesting that you say this about the jewelry, because just a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you guys remember watching at home, I got a tattoo. And I got a tattoo, and the process for the tattoo, Tracy, you'll love this because it happens in a similar way to you receiving the downloads for these jewelry pieces. Is that with my tattoo artist, and she's done a lot of my artwork, but she moves in spiritual circles. She wants to more establish herself in that particular space, and the experience that I had with her, we'd set it up for her. She'd set up this as an experience, is that we would do a meditation prior to our tattoo. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how the tattoo was going to turn out. We didn't know where it was going to be on my body or anything. I just literally went along. We did a meditation, both of us together, and then we talked about in the same room. Yeah, in the same room. And then we talked about the things that came through, and it was interesting. I wonder if this happens for you. Right at the very beginning of the meditation, when we was sort of trying to channel, and I've not done a lot of this work, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just dead open to it. At the beginning, I was seeing loads of bees, and I was seeing honeypots, and I was seeing hives, and actually that was probably, if I look at it now, considering what we came up with, and I'll show you what we came up with, was like, my consciousness was actually like the bit of me that was awake, that was thinking, oh, you're going to get a bee, Dani. Of course you're going to get a bee. The queen bee, like, it's obvious. And the same for Lou, who's my tattoo artist. And then once we'd allowed that to settle, actually then some really interesting and really not what we thought things came through. So we ended up with this piece here.
Oh, wow.
Which is a world, and then a sun for abundance, and then the universe behind it, and then like essentially my hands with my nails, like as in like my world is in my hands, and that came from nowhere. So I ended up, sure, I can't show you, I have to pull my pants down. I'm not doing that on the morning telly. So I've now got that piece on my thigh, but that in a very similar way.
Yeah, I love
is how that came about. Is that the way you see things in the first instance when people ask you to do these things now, or do you just get downloads for people and then you go and like tap them up and say, hey, this is for you?
Yeah, no, I try not to do that. I mean, I try not to do that too much. So now I just wait till the client contacts me, and then I allow some space, like in your meditation, for something to come through. Yeah. And then it usually comes through, like as a vision of the actual piece. So I actually see the whole thing made already. And then at first I was just like sort of sketching the thing, and then I couldn't think how I was going to make it. So now when I see the vision of the piece, I investigated a bit more about, how it's made or how bits are attached or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
I feel excited just you talking about it. I'm like, okay, so we need to have a conversation about, like, your girl needs a crown. She's a queen, right? So it would be great to have a conversation. I'm sure there's somebody else here as well, like Jojo Smith in our comments just now, definitely loves a cheeky crown. But so what, these pieces, are they always crowns, or are they other pieces? Are they necklaces, or do they tend to be these crown pieces?
They actually have been all sorts of different pieces, but with the crowns, I started making my first crown last year during Natasha's course as well. So when I was a little girl, and I lived in the desert for part of the year with my family, and we didn't have we lived very simply, and we didn't have much stuff. Like, we just had a car that we all used to sleep in, and not much. So for toys and stuff, we didn't have much. But Dad used to make me these wire like tiaras, just out of a piece of wire. With he was actually here a few weeks ago, and he was telling me, I was showing him in my studio, and he was telling me how he used to make them. Just with a simple piece of wire around, and then a wire kind of diamond shape on them. Or a star. I can remember a star on them as well. Anyway, that was when I was very little, and I can just remember that feeling of wearing one, and just being like I could do anything, and I am just like,
my 5-year-old does that. She gets one of those princess crowns on, and honestly, she turns. I mean, she already sees herself as a queen. She skipped princess. She's gone straight to queen. She's like, she not spent any time being a princess. She's not asked for any of that. She's like straight into queen status. She's like rocking around, swishing her hair. She knows the score. But when she puts that on, it's like a transformation.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. And so I think I could just remember that feeling. And then when I was studying at uni, I remember always wanting to make a head adornment for the head. Anyway, those two things I just can remember as bringing me to this point last year where I was like, I really want to make a crown. And I was putting it off like, oh, I wouldn't be able to make it. I don't have the right tools. And who's going to buy a crown? It's silly, Tracy. And then one night I was like in my studio, I was like, I'm just going to make one. I'm just going to make one.
It.
Just to make it and see what happens.
Let's just make it.
Yeah. And so I made it. And it was like, I had an epiphany of like, this is everything in my life so far has, come to this moment to make this possible, of me making this, this crown.
So like a homecoming.
Yeah. It was really amazing. And and lots, like I put it on my Facebook page, and I got lots of feedback, like positive feedback. So I was like, oh, I might make another one.
I'm onto something here. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. So when what sort of materials do you make these crowns out of? So like you've got different gemstones and what have you, and then you set them. But what about the metal? What's the metals made from?
So this one's silver. I've made some out of brass, and I can make them in gold or of any metal like that. What was I going to say? So when I download the piece for the custom made pieces, it's it's already set, the design, the materials, the gemstone, everything sort of comes with that. But I'm also making some to put on my website, which are just I've downloaded the designs as well.
Yeah.
But you can choose which one.
They're like so generically meaningful, I guess.
Yeah. And you can choose which metal you have them in, and you can choose whether you have a gemstone or not a gemstone, because the ones I've made without gemstones are really, really cool as well.
Yeah. So have you had much interest since you started this? I can only imagine that it's taken off a little bit, has it not?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So, Natasha was my first custom client who a custom made piece, and I was like, I've already had a download yours. Yeah.
I remember when she unboxed it, I was like, oh my God, who's this Traci Chambers? So you downloaded the piece for her and sent it on to her.
Yeah.
And so particularly the headpieces, are these things that you would wear out? Are these things that you would wear if you were spiritual and you were performing rituals, for example? Like you guys all know out there, it was a full moon last night, so I was burning my candles and my Palo Santo and all sorts of stuff. So when is it an adornment that you would wear? Is it an ornament? Like what do people use?
I would love to think of it being like a bangle, like you wear it just like you would wear a bangle or a necklace. That would that's my ultimate dream of everybody just going around in headpieces.
Just hanging out in their crowns, Tracy. I love it. And I'm absolutely here for it. So you are a part of, we've been really lucky, really blessed in the last couple of weeks that we've had lots of Natasha Bray's Story Mind clients come on and to share some of their incredible stories and their incredible businesses in the run up to the book launch. How have you found that process?
Yeah, it's been amazing, actually. It brings up so much stuff, writing. You've written a book too, haven't you?
Yeah, I've written a couple. It's cathartic. I had to take to my bed for a couple of days during the book writing process because I had to just like give my heart a little second.
Yeah, it brings up so much, but it's been so beautiful being in that group environment and being held like by Natasha, and she's given us healing to do during like it, you know, when we're all getting like
it's a lot
freaking out. Yeah, it's been so nice and such amazing support with all those women that have written a chapter.
Fantastic. I mean, and they are like we've had a member of the Story Mind on pretty much every day for the past week or so, and it will be on into next week when you launch. Is it Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday.
That's so exciting. And you guys are coming in to come and take over the show. Like, so not only have we been taking over like from a business point of view, you guys are coming on to do the book launch and spend some time with us on the show doing the book launch as well, which we're really, really excited to have you all on. With Story Mind, like you say, when you do start to write chapters for books or whole books, you do start to connect with words and your experiences. And for me, when I started to do that, that's when you start to realize some of the things that have gone on for you. Like a lot of the time, everything that's happened to us is just in our heads, so we're just carrying it around with us. But as soon as we start to articulate it, I mean, for me in the speaking space, but again in the writing space, when you start to articulate it and you suddenly see your experiences and your wisdom and all of these things in front of you, it is almost like it's like sticking a crown on your head, and you're growing into something that you wasn't before because you realize just how bloody incredible you are. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah, I did. And yeah, just seeing my journey and everything that I've been through as well, and how that's shaped where I am now. Yeah, it's a pretty nice experience.
There's something really magic that happens when we share our stories. There's something it's really magical because whatever you've experienced can become somebody else's survival guide, right? So you're actually handing over that bit of wisdom to the world, and somebody out there is going to read that, and out of all of the chapters in the book, it might be yours, Tracy, that they go, that's the one that resonates with me. And the whole of the stories will be phenomenal, but you could be the one, and there's a lot of power in that, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. It is really empowering to think that, just inspiring other people even to think about their journey, or to inspire them to start on the healing journey, or there's so many things.
What are you excited about coming up? Because it's been a bit of a strange 12 months, 14, 15 months now. What's the lockdown situation like where you are? Are you just like is everyone back out in the open where you are in South Wales, or?
Yeah, we're pretty lucky.
Very jealous.
Yeah. We live in like a rural area, and it's pretty normal.
Brilliant. I'm so glad. Well, we will live vicariously through you for at least another couple of months, I believe, over here. What are you excited about? What's coming up next for you? So you've been through the Story Mind process. The book's coming out next Thursday, which will no doubt smash the charts in. Just because, Natasha's incredible. All you phenomenal humans are amazing. So I've got no doubt that the book's going to do really well. What's next for Traci Chambers?
Well, I really want to help other women open up to their intuition. So I'm hoping to run a program to help other creative people open up to their intuition and be able to use it in their work, like I do with my jewelry. And of course, to make more headpieces. I want more women wearing headpieces everywhere.
Agreed. I am 100% with you on this campaign, Tracy. 100% with you on that campaign. More women wearing crowns. Thank you.
Yes.
So, how if people do want to know more about you and more about the pieces that you create and in your journey, how do we connect? How do we find out more about you, Traci?
So you can follow me on Facebook, Traci Chambers, or Jewellery by Traci Chambers.
Yeah.
And my website is Traci Chambers, TRACI Chambers.com.
Perfect. Yeah. And could you do us a favor, Traci, on the live, could you pop those details into the comments, so then if anybody wants to come and get a piece from you? Do you ship internationally? I hope you ship internationally.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Fantastic. I know we do have queen bees, king bees, royal bees that are over in Oz, but yeah, we want some of that magic over this side of the hemisphere. Thank you very much. Traci, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the show, Wise Up, Rise Up show. It's been just so interesting and fascinating talking to you. You are an incredible human, and I cannot wait to see what the book does and indeed what you do next.
Thanks, Dani.
You're very welcome. I'll speak to you soon.
See ya.
That was Traci Chambers, everybody. Just what an incredible story, what an incredible journey, how fascinating and interesting it is when especially our creative communities start to really tap into everything that's inside of them and everything that they're capable of, and then they're able to use that in their work. It's my hope for all of you that part of that creative community, and even if you're not, to be able to be that well connected with yourself that you can start to peep around the corner of other things and channel that, whether you see that as channeling, whether you see that as accessing your higher self, whether you see that as just being able to relax enough to let ideas flow. However you look at it, it's pretty flipping magical, right? So we'll be back tomorrow on the show, Wise Up Rise Up show, at 9:30 in the morning with more incredible humans to share with you. Let me know if you are attending the Summer Swarm. If anybody wants to talk to me about filling those seats and being an affiliate referral person, then you can. And if you don't already, please do go and follow me on the Instagram at the Queen Bee Dani. The Queen Bee Dani, because we are still going for that swipe up. It will be wicked in the next couple of weeks if we can tip over into the 4,000 follower mark, and we can make those good guns to get to that 10k swipe up. Oh, fingers crossed by the end of the year. I'm going to be doing some work with some phenomenal people in the social media industry to try and make that happen in as awesome a way as possible. When I say in as awesome a way as possible, I mean sharing some fantastic content for you to learn from and to show up, wise up and rise up from. Hope you've enjoyed the show this morning. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 for more showing up, wising up and rising up. I love you. Ciao.